Good morning, good morning. I don't own the rights to this music, but I own the rights to this story. On February the 6th, 2011, I put a toilet in front of the Towson courthouse. That toilet represented racism in Baltimore County, Baltimore City courts, racketeering and fraud in your courts. It was about the illegal war on drugs. I was making a movie and a documentary about y'all. Y'all took my truck, my computer, and 8 years worth of videos. Right here is when you came in my house and put guns in my head. You threatened my life. You feel me? Now Clippinger, Smith, Baltimore City delegations, the Maryland Black Caucus. This was fraud and racketeering in your courts. This was in 2010. You feel me? Long before I got locked up in 2011. You let Schellenberger use the powers of his office to illegally incarcerate me. Fern Shen from the Baltimore Brew has a portfolio. Fern Shen from the Baltimore Brew has a white envelope. She had a brown envelope. Like I said, I turned y'all in to the government. I turned you into Fern Shen. The Baltimore Sun had this. Justin George, Justin Fenton. Your editor, Timothy Ryan, had this. Fox 45 had this. Fox 45, Stephen Janis had this. Christian Schaefer had this. Jayne Miller had this. Mainstream media had this, but mainstream media didn't have a problem calling me a terrorist. This was all about the 13th Amendment and the laws that y'all write to incarcerate black Baltimore. This tape right here, shows the art of getting money. The art of getting money in Scott Schellenberger's office. All right? And I showed you the art of getting money in Scott Schellenberger's office. It shows you how you coerce confessions. You charge people with 50 different crimes, knowing that none of them are really going to stick, but you got so much pressure on them, they'll plead guilty to crimes that they don't commit. I didn't plead guilty. I took you to court and won. I took you to court and won. I used the Constitution to do it. You feel me? I used the Constitution to beat you. I used your laws to enrich my property and my situation. This is the Constitution. This is the Constitution. The table of contents. All right? And this is my computer. All right? Do not delete. Oh man, can't get no internet service. What you did, I did the same thing on the other computer. You had everything from 2007 to 2010. You took the computer, it had all of this type of information on it. PC downloads, documents. You feel me? We're talking about the war on drugs and the violence in Baltimore City. The violence in Baltimore City comes from the war on drugs. You want to stop the violence, you got to end the war on drugs. When you had prohibition and you were killing white people, you ended prohibition so you would stop killing white people. Fast forward to 2020, you don't want to stop killing black Baltimore. You're using that as a population control. You're using it as population control. And it's a double-edged sword because you're using that same population control to instill fear. You've been using fear tactics for 400 years. This ain't nothing new. This is like the Willie Lynch letters, the new face of old Jim Crow. So 2020, like I said, I want access to the grand jury. Governor Hogan got an accountability bill. I want that accountability bill. I'm going to testify in Annapolis, and I'm going to come to Annapolis and testify. And in the meantime, anywhere that I see Jayne Miller, anywhere that I see Tom Waddell, anywhere where I see mainstream media, I'm going to check you. I'm going to put this camera in your face. I'm going to ask you 21 questions. I'm going to be just like Fox. I'm going to be relentless. And I'm going to put the camera in your face and I'm going to ask you when you knew, what you knew, and why you lied to the public. Fern Shen from the Baltimore Brew had a plethora of information, and Fern Shen didn't publish this. Fern Shen refused to publish this in her Baltimore Brew. Fern Shen has in her possession a white envelope with evidence that supports my claim of my innocence. I was making a movie about y'all. No law against making a movie about the Democratic Party in Maryland. There's no law against making a movie about the prison industry in Maryland. There's no law against what I did, but there is a law against kidnapping. There is a law against theft of property. There is a law against lying to the grand jury. There is a law against perjury. There is a law, and we're going to use the law to show that the law is lawless in Baltimore. We're going to talk about the root of the problems, and we're going to shine the light on Scott Schellenberger. We're going to shine the light on the Maryland Black Caucus. We're going to shine the light on black faces carrying out a white agenda of white supremacy. When Councilman Ryan said white supremacy exists, white supremacy exists. And we're going to show you the roots of white supremacy in Baltimore. We're going to show you the money that you make off of black bodies in Baltimore that you're trying to do in 2020, Governor Hogan. We're going to show you the art of getting money in 2020. And we're going to use a toilet to do it. A toilet don't care if you black, white, straight, or gay. A toilet take your shit every day. Jesus had a cross. Martin had a dream. Malcolm got a gun. Shorty got a toilet. We all got our shit to deal with. And y'all voted for this shit. And y'all got to deal with this shit. We're going to deal with this shit together with Starbucks, one cup at a time. So Fern Shen, Jayne Miller, anybody in mainstream media that knows me, Richard Sher, Mark Marion, Christian Schaefer, it's all about you in 2020. When I come down to Annapolis and I see you in the gallery and I see you by the Frederick Douglass statue and I see you by the Harriet Tubman statue, I'm a modern day abolitionist. I'm an advocate. I'm not a terrorist. I'm an advocate. I'm an abolitionist. I'm fighting for my freedom. I'm fighting for my community's freedom. I'm fighting to end this war on drugs to stop this violence. Google State of Illinois versus Dwayne Davis, N62528. I walk the walk and I talk the talk. I can back up whatever comes out my mouth. And the Constitution gonna support it. The Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, right to property, due process and equal protections. I've been denied all of that because I'm black in America. Mic check.